Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boom and Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today doing a recap of our Week 6 matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Unfortunately, we have a loss. So, overtime loss for our Bears where we kind of had a sloppy game, I would say. That's kind of the summarization for me of this whole game. Was very sloppy on both sides, not just us, but also Miami. A lot of turnovers, some poor throws, some bad tackling, just all over the place, and ended up going to overtime where we couldn't seal the deal and fell to the Dolphins. And, you know, it was interesting to me because ever since the bye week, or since the Tampa Bay game, I should say, the only thing that I saw on the line in different places is everybody talking about the Patriots game. There are so many people talking about, oh, well, what do you think about the Patriots? Or do you think we're going to beat the Patriots and Patriots, that to the point I had to go look at the schedule because I was like, I'm pretty sure we have the Dolphins first before the Patriots game. And I was right. And I'm like, okay, all these people have just skipped over the Dolphins game. And I'm not really saying, wow, it's the Miami Dolphins. How could you skip them over? I'm just saying that as our team, no matter how good or bad we are, you can't just overlook anything. And so to have that attitude where not everybody, but a good amount of people were just looking past this week and, you know, talking it up as a win, I thought that was just interesting. That's not what I would do. As evidenced by that, any given Sunday, this is why we play the game. And this is, speaking of that, that's why what's on paper doesn't matter as much as what happens when you play in between the lines, because I've been saying this and I'll continue to say it. It's not so much what you do, it's how you do it that's more important for me. And that's important because people keep quoting to me the stats and this and that and the Bears defense, this, that. And then you saw what happened today. And the reason I say how you do it is more important because how you do it is going to indicate better if you have a chance to repeat it. And repeat it against multiple styles and teams. And the stats don't always tell you that. And so just looking at the numbers is fine. We're not playing Tampa again. We're not playing, any of those teams again this week. We're playing a new team. And so those stats don't mean as much compared to what we were doing. And I say that, and I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I'll just jump to the defense. Fine, let's go there. And I say that because Osweiler had a lot of time to throw today. He had a lot of time. There was some times where he got pressure and he's not mobile at all. So, or not that mobile. So, the pressure, was a little easier to get to him at times. But for the most part, he wasn't really hurried or rushed. He had a good amount of time to sit back and do what he wanted to do. And so when you're talking about Mac, tweaking his ankle or doing something or, being out for a couple plays or whatever. And you see how the whole dynamic shifts with our pass rush. And again, people, the Bears have this sacks and this and this. And I'm like, I get it. I understand that. But from what I'm watching, technique wise, football wise, is not good outside of Mac. And I don't want to keep harping on it every week, but if it comes into play, it comes into play. And this week, I think it came into play. Also on defense, one thing I noticed early on that the middle of our defense was very soft. I did not like that. They were running up the gut on us a little too consistently. And it did come into play later when Frank Gore was able to bust the run too. They just were coming downhill. And I know Trevathan and Roquan are, range linebackers where they can really cover the field and get to plays in different ways. But the problem with that is you lose some of that downhill thump. And I honestly, I've seen Roquan flash a little bit, but, between our nose tackle, who Eddie's, pretty decent, but the thing is in the 3-4 or any odd front, your nose tackle could be really good, but there's always going to be ways to hit that A gap if the linebacker isn't filling. And so I just felt early on they really hit us up the gut a little too easy. And when people try to run the zones and stretch us and all that, I think we contain pretty well. We play our gaps pretty well. But when we were talking about just kind of man-on-man ball, I'm not so sure I like our odds against the Dolphins today. So that's kind of concerning to me. And who we play matters. I mean, having Osweiler in really changed the dynamics of the pass coverage and allowed Kyle Fuller to get 2 picks. Because Kyle Fuller, as I said, and some people mistake it, I'm not saying Kyle Fuller is a bad corner. I'm saying he's a trail technique corner. That's his style of play. He's not fast. He's not going to, stay on top of the route. He's going to stay underneath the route. But that's why a lot of people like trail technique, because you got to have a good throw. When he picked off Devontae Parker, it's because the throw wasn't perfect over the shoulder. Anything other than that, he has inside leverage. He can make a play. And then he did pretty well to break on that almost pick 6 too. But again, Osweiler, the thing is, his arm strength's not the same as Tannehill, so a lot of what they did was short, and they didn't really go vertical a lot, which plays into the strength of a guy like Kyle Fuller, who is more of a short to medium range corner who can make plays on that. So coming into it, we made plays on Osweiler, but it would seem like going against him was the better matchup for us, and we really were going to be able to capitalize. And even though we got turnovers, we didn't fully capitalize. So it was tough, man. It was really tough to really pinpoint what was going on. Besides bad tackling, it was a lot of bad tackling. That really hurts. And those fundamentals, whether it be blocking on offense, tackling on defense, they always have to have an emphasis. I mean, all the big plays and stuff, that's nice, but those are the things you got to watch for. And so maybe it was playing in the humid sun down in Miami. Maybe they just weren't energized. I don't know. But either way, that tackling really stood out to me as one of the issues. So there's that. And then Roquan, he's got to get better in coverage. He has the tools, which that's one thing. Don't get him confused. Having the ability to do things is one part. The other part is actually knowing how to use it. And 95% of the linebackers in the league don't know how to play zone coverage without standing at the quarterback. So I'm not going to knock him too hard for that. But if he wants to get to an upper echelon type cover linebacker, he's got to learn to understand where he fits in the zone, where the route combos are. If you see a receiver go here, then most likely something's coming here, things of that nature. Because from the games I've seen, he ends up being like just short of the play a lot, because it was easy for the receivers in zone to break their route right behind you, and you don't know because you're just standing at the quarterback. So he's got tools. He made a real good play on 3rd down where he showed some good range in the open field tackle. I forgot who, the player. I think it was Drake. And so he definitely has all those tools. It's just putting it together. And he's young. He's a rookie, but that's something we're going to have to continue to coach him up, because we're only going to get better when he can do those things. So overall, yeah, it was sloppy tackling. The run defense wasn't as impressive. Pass rush wasn't as impressive. Got some turnovers. We did a couple things, but I'm going to get a defensive C for this game. Now, offense. I'll credit a few fans in the comments who have said this many times, so this isn't me. They said, 5 games is when I'll know. Like, I'm giving the team 5 games, or I'm giving Trubisky 5 games, and that's when I really, gonna have everything I need to know. Some people are saying the Patriots game is gonna tell them everything I need to know, but a lot of people were saying 5 games, and I wasn't personally putting a number on it, but I will say I feel like after this game I do have a solid opinion of certain things on our team as a whole. But number one with Trubisky, and I said this last week, and people kind of took this the wrong way. I was saying that he might have that up and down type issue with consistency like Rex Grossman and Cutler. I wasn't saying he is Rex Grossman and Cutler. I was just talking about that one actual aspect of their game where his consistency is going to be in flux. And I felt like you saw that. Like this game, it's crazy how you'll see him miss Anthony Miller over the middle, like in early in the game in the first quarter, wide open, and just really miss that. But then he'll make such a nice pass to a Taylor Gabriel or somebody else down the field. And it's like, well, so he's not completely trash at throwing down the field or, you know, putting it where it needs to go. You see the accuracy at times. And that's what's so frustrating is that you'll see you that bad and that good in the same game. But, kind of overall what his game will be feels like it is going to vary week to week depending on the matchup. And I didn't think he was under real pressure this game. I think he definitely had time to make decisions and sit in the pocket. But there's just some disconnect there. And again, if I'm not there or down the field talking with him, it's hard for me to sit here and tell you as a fan what it is. But there's some disconnect there sometimes where he makes some really ugly throws. And again, as I said before, it's more the decision. Sometimes the throws are really ugly, but a lot of times it's just like, why would you try to chance that? Like he almost got picked off trying to throw to Cohen and down the field, overthrowing him. And then he actually did get picked off trying to force it into the end zone through double coverage. It's just like this decision making. To me, a lot of people say he's not accurate. Again, I've already said, and I still feel I don't think that's the case, but I do feel like he has some issues with his decision making. So, but I'm not saying this is who he's going to be because people tend to try to, and I say 3 years to judge a player, but people still try to box you in real fast. And we see all over the league players continue to grow or regress. So, I'm not saying this is who he's going to be, but I'm saying for this season, this is just what I'm expecting, where you're going to have to continue to make play calls to minimize the risk that he's going to take. Show him a setup play where he can know where he's going, or let him do some things with his legs. He's pretty good with that also. And then you get the run game going. So we not so much hiding Trubisky, because I don't think we're hiding him, but really don't overexpose him. It's starting to look a little like what they did with Blake Bortles in Jacksonville. So that's just kind of how I feel about him. But as far as Nagy, I'm on board with this whole offensive mind, or not offensive mind, but like this great offensive schemes that he has. A lot of people say that, and honestly, most of the stuff I see is stuff I've seen before, but the guts he has as a head coach to do the things. Some of the things are just straight unconventional, but I said the hallmark is going to be misdirection with the team, and that's what we've been doing. So you see the play where Tariq Cohen ended up running for a score. What happened was something I've never seen before. They had the offensive line all blocked right like it was a zone. Instead of Tariq Cohen coming across for the handoff, he stayed still. They gave him the ball, and then Leno doubled back. He went right and then doubled back left to kick out the person, and the whole gap was wide open because most of the defense saw zone and started moving right. And so I've never seen a lineman break or block down one way and then come back and run block the other way. That is so unconventional. You saw how it exposed them because it was misdirection, but that's some gutsy stuff. It's just going against what everything you taught as a coach and as a player. But with his team of the offensive line coach and the guy from Oregon, he feels empowered to go out there and put whatever they can think of and put it on the field. And so I'm starting to get on board with how innovative it is. Time management and stuff, still a question. The fact that we didn't really do anything before we kicked in overtime. We could have tried to get a first down or get some more yards, but instead we kind of stayed vanilla. The decision not to really try and win the game at the end, which some people are fine with. Some people used to criticize Fox for that all the time, not trying to go for it at the end of the half or whatever. And so time management, I'm still iffy about with Nagy, but I'm starting to believe he has that offensive innovation that the league hasn't seen a lot of. But at the same time, I still feel the same way. you can get cute early on. You can catch people sleeping, but that won't win you the game. And as we've seen, that when it comes down to it, you just got to make plays in the pocket and you got to be able to block the man in front of you and run the ball. And we aren't exactly there. Jordan Howard has some good runs in the overtime, but yeah, the O-line I saw James Daniels switch in again. They didn't go back and forth this time, so I don't know if Cush was actually hurt this time or how that's going. Still interesting to figure out what they're doing with that left guard spot. But either way, we're just not bullying people that bad. So it was a very stark difference when you saw the Dolphins run up the middle against the Bears versus when the Bears ran up the middle against the Dolphins. We really didn't have any momentum or push. And so that power run game is kind of lacking. And I'm still kind of worried, how to supplement that or how to fix that. So, but overall, they put up points. We didn't shoot ourselves in the foot too much. We had some good field position by the defense. Trubisky, like I said, kind of throwing those risky passes, but the play calling's good. The pass pro's good. The skill positions are good. We just didn't get it done. So I'm gonna give them a B for today. And special teams was pretty fine. We didn't really have to do too much for special teams, but overall, tough loss, very tough loss. Dolphins was a winnable game, and then they had the backup quarterback, so you definitely thought this was a lock, and turns out not to be that way. But it was just mistakes. It was sloppy football on both sides. Even when the Dolphins had a chance to win, they fumbled going into the goal line. So it's not just the Bears. It was a real sloppy game all around. And I just don't think we was as focused and locked in as we should have been on defense. And that ultimately cost us. But, there was some bad calls. It was some, a little bit of everything with this game. And so going forward, everybody kept talking to the Patriots and want to see the Patriots. Well, now we got to see them coming off a loss. So not exactly sure this is what the Bears fans were talking about. And so hopefully this isn't some type of flip of the switch where now all the Trubisky haters are going to come back out. Or, and we had that issue. Hopefully everybody can take this as a lesson. Let's just calm down and watch the games. Let's not overlook people. Fine, if you want to chase the stats, that's cool, but understand that people can still watch the game and have issues, even if the stats say something different, because we're not world beaters. And so, definitely not a game I wanted to lose, but I would say maybe that could bring everybody down to earth, the team, the coaches, and the fans included, where some people are just writing trips to the Super Bowl, to the playoffs, after 4 games, and it's that's not how this league works. So 1 week at a time. But anyway, love to hear what you guys think. Go to the comment section, let me know. Share it around, get the convo started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.